Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn-Kerbeck, and our show today is the Mallorca Connection. Our topic is, what if you are alone for the holiday? And this is really an appropriate topic because I am alone for the holiday, as is the star of our show, Mr. Roland-Friedl. Let's bring him out and find out what he's been up to. Hello, Roland. How are you?
Hello, Jacalyn. Merry Christmas. Great to see you. You look amazing.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you as well. This is actually my mother's dress. The tags were still on it, and I thought, why not? I'm going to put it on, have a little bit of mom with me today. So
absolutely. Yeah. You look good. It looks
so you're ahead of me, right? You're ahead of me by 6 hours. Yes. And you're still okay. Nothing happened to you because you're spending Christmas by yourself.
For me, it's a day like every day. For me, it's no difference at all. I mean, I'm from Austria, from Europe, Austria. So actually, more important, of course, today is a holiday. It's a family gatherings together, having lunch, mostly lunch together. But most importantly, actually, was the day before the Christmas Eve, where the kids, you burn the candles on the tree, the kids get the presents and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess it's the most important day, especially for kids and families, the 24th, and then the 25th. The 24th is more in the families, with your kids and grandkids. And on the 25th, you invite people, families, or you go to a family for dinner or for lunch. For me, it was okay. To be honest, when we talked backstage, I had it for many years. I absolutely enjoyed it, to be honest. When my kids have been smaller, now they're in their 30s. They're around their own families. But I love to escape from all the stress and rush, the shopping malls, this jingle bell, and Last Christmas, I can't hear it anymore. All this business driven stuff. I don't know. I mean, Christmas time should be a time of reflection, of coming down and silence. And there's so much stress, especially in the city. So I really enjoy Christmas without the stress of the business side.
When was the first year that you spent Christmas by yourself, if you remember?
You mean totally by myself? Mm-hmm. I had some years without my wife or my girlfriend, but then it was with my mom. But totally alone, it was actually last year. It was the first time I was totally alone. So I was taking care about a property in Portugal, because this was an older German lady, and she was at social media. She was asking for someone or looking for somebody who's taking care about her property and her dog, because she wanted to fly to their grandkids to Germany. So I was totally alone with 2 dogs for 12 days. And it was cool. It was amazing. With all this technology, I had FaceTime with my kids, with friends, and so I didn't feel alone. But I was totally alone for 12 days, and I loved it, to be honest.
What are some of the key learnings that you had from last year that gave you insights for this year?
Oh, I know that I don't get the blues. I know that I don't get the blues. I can be by myself. I enjoy to be by myself. Actually, this was a learning, the whole last year, because it was the first time after 2 times marriage and a long relationship as a single. So I started to become a single almost 2 years ago. And it was a learning journey to enjoy myself by being alone. And yeah, it was a huge learning about myself. I had more time to do my shadow works and do stuff what I really want, because I was not distracted by a partner or other people. yeah, it was a learning, and I love it, and so I was not scared or afraid about being alone this Christmas. But actually, I'm not alone. I'm here on a camping site. Well, I don't talk much to other people, but yesterday I had an amazing Christmas lunch with a guy I met here, a Dutch guy actually, on the beach. So it was fine. I was not really alone, but I was not with family and close friends and stuff like that.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I'm wondering, based on what you just said, because I think the same thing for myself, so it's kind of for each of us. Now that you've spent the holiday alone and you enjoy it, how would it be if you actually were involved with someone who had a big family?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so if you let's say next week, a month from now, you meet a partner and the partner has a big family, and now you two are involved and you're used to having this time by yourself, how are you going to feel going to another scenario?
Good question. Well, I have no idea, but when I go back the years back, my first marriage, we always spent with my wife's family for Christmas, the whole holidays. We're a huge family. It was it was very nice, very friendly family. There was no arguing, there was no conflicts, there was no trauma. So it was always very, very peaceful. So I absolutely enjoyed it. So it's not that I'm now escaping being by myself. Absolutely not. I always had a very, very good time in my first marriage and with my wife's family, with her brothers and sisters and yeah, no, we always had a very good time. So there was luckily there was no stress, because I know from my own experience when I was a kid, it was a tough time because my parents always have been arguing. So I didn't like Christmas when I was a small kid. For me, it was not a funny, nice festival or holiday. So I got my present. Most of them I was wishing for a book, and then I went to my room and was reading and escaping from the stress in between my parents. No. So to answer your question, if I would meet a partner with a large family, I'm fine too. Absolutely, I'm fine too. Absolutely. But I don't want, the stress and get involved in family issues. So because I know that most families are arguing. And actually, I had some calls with some very close friends today, and they told me, my God, it was a nightmare again. Many times. So I'm evident. But to answer your question, yeah, it would be fine. Well, I love to be with people, with like-minded people where it's a positive energy. Absolutely, absolutely. But I don't like the stress and the arguing.
I agree with you. And I'm wondering, as a coach, you've worked with a lot of people in different capacities around the world. What is it about the holiday that gets people so stressed out that it's this one day of the year or 2 days of the year or a night and the day, and there are all these arguments going on? Why do you think that is?
Oh, I'm not a therapist, but I can speak from what I observed when I was a kid and what I see from other families is, when you work, when you're hustling, when you're working a whole year, you're very busy, yeah, in your own business or whatever kind of job you're doing, and maybe both partners are working. There's not much time to clarify or to sort out conflicts. And then Christmas, this holy festival, I guess expectations are very high. The kids are nervous, especially small. They want the presents. Everybody's nervous. You have a lot of stress to get the presents and all this stuff. And the city is crowded. The shopping malls are crowded. There's a lot of stress going around. The expectations are very high. Family is coming. The wife has a lot of work preparing, I don't know what kind of a turkey or whatever, a ham or whatever. So there's a lot of stress, a lot of expectations. And then you have time, you're not really distracted, you're home with your partner. And then maybe some suppressed conflicts from during the year, it's coming up. It's not because it's Christmas, but some conflicts that hadn't been sorted out during the year, they come up. They come up. And with all the stress, with this emotional stress you have, it's coming up, and then it gets very emotional, and then, yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes, my experiences from many conversations with very good friends of mine is most of them said it's a nightmare. Most of them.
You brought up a lot of really good points. I think one other one is money, finances, because this time of year, there's a lot of money that has to be put out to do all of those things that you just said. And maybe I remember this really well, that friends of mine, one person liked to buy a ton of gifts and the other partner didn't want to buy any gifts. And then the bills are all rung up. You've got these big credit card bills that are due, or all the money that was taken out of the bank. And then the day's over and you're on to the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, actually, to be honest, I enjoyed really Christmas was with the kids. It was always nice. The small kids, to see this eyes and no one. It was always perfect. But when the kids left the house with my wife, we always said, okay, we don't buy any stuff. We don't buy any stuff. So we stay together. We spend the time together. Actually, we're gonna talk in the next show about the 12 holy nights, the rough nights. That's what we do. For me, Christmas time is really a time to come down, to relax, to come down, go slowly, be by myself, reading, meditating, making walks or whatever. So I never was so proud of this hustling time. Actually never. Because to be honest, I was posting on Facebook 4 days ago. In 4 days, the guys start buying presents. I never was the guy to do it on the last minute. So I bought, actually, when I think about when buying gifts for my kids or for my wife, I did it during the year, sometimes in May, sometimes in June, July. I saw something, I said, oh, this would be a nice gift for Christmas. So I was never the last minute guy, to be honest. So for me, it was never stress. The only thing that stressed me when I had to go somewhere and I always hear the same Christmas songs, I cannot hear it anymore. I cannot hear it. A friend of mine, we said maybe we should raise some money and buy the license, the rights for Last Christmas, and then we just destroy it.
Well, that's an idea. I haven't heard that one before. Well, another part of being alone, and not just for the holidays, I think this is really important. There are definitely people who are not able to be alone. They just cannot do it. Even if they're in their home, they have to have a television on. They have to have music. They have to have some kind of noise so it feels like there's someone or something else there. Have you ever experienced this?
Well, I was the same in the past. And I only speak from my own experience, okay? The reason for that is because I didn't want to face my real ego, my real personality, my dark sides. So I always tried to distract myself from the negative emotions inside. That's what I was, meeting friends or doing this or watching TV, or I was not a TV watcher where I was going for some videos or music or stuff like that. When people distract themselves all the time, this is always a sign that something is going on inside, and they know it. There's something going inside, but they don't want to have a deeper look, so they distract themselves. That's what most people do. Most people are not living. They're consuming and distracting themselves, but they're not really living. They're not alive. They don't feel themselves. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they really want. That's what most people is going on. I was the same when I was younger, to be honest. I was the same. It was a learning journey for me. Stopping to distract myself by, I don't know, TV, music, drugs, food, whatever it is.
And I think it's hard to be with someone who's going on that journey, because they're kind of, I know people like this, they're under constant pressure to keep busy.
Yeah. Man, I remember my second marriage. It was the same. I'm busy. We never talked in 15 years. We traveled, we spent money, we played golf, we had nice luxury journeys or trips all over the world, but we never talked. It was actually when I separated myself because I got out of the relationship. I said, Mike, I was thinking about going back, to be honest, in 6 months later. So maybe I go back because I still love her. She's an amazing person. I said, no, I can't go back because it's boring. It's just we just do something, not to talk and not to get distracted. And most people are distracting by themselves, just not to have a deeper look on who they really are and what's missing. And as I said before, the emotions and the dark sides and the good sides. Most people are like this. That's how the consumer world functions. If everyone would be happy, like I am right now, the more happy I became, the less I consume, the less stuff I buy. That's it. That's the amazing thing. I don't need this distraction. I don't need a new car. I was always buying new cars every 15 to 18 months at the latest. I always bought a new car, or I don't know, a new iPhone, a new mobile phone, or whatever. I don't need it anymore because shopping is not anymore important for me to distract myself from my shadow, from my dark side. So since I did this journey and I started working on myself, consuming is less and less important. It doesn't mean that I don't enjoy nice things, not at all. But it's not that I buy it just because I'm bored, I'm lonely, I want to satisfy myself or whatever. It became differently, totally.
And you've taken your journey to a whole other level by leaving your home and going into a motorhome and traveling out through Europe. That's not something that everyone could do, especially by themselves.
Yeah, to be honest, I was scared too in the beginning. I was scared, absolutely too, because I ended up the relationship ended. I left this amazing house on this beautiful island, moved to my motorhome is quite a luxury one, no, but it's different, from a large house and a motorhome. And I was scared at the beginning too, on two sides. I had some anxieties about the future, how I will end up. That's one point. And the other thing is, okay, my gosh, now I'm alone. And I always was in a relationship. I always, since I'm 15, 16 years old, always had a relationship, long-term relationship. I was always taking long-term relationship. And it was a new experience. I was scared, to be honest. I was really scared at the beginning. But it's with everything. When you get out of your comfort zone, and like for myself, I was forced to do so. It became better every day. And I started to enjoy it. And to be honest, now after almost 2 years, it's difficult to go back to a relationship because I enjoy it so much. I enjoy it so much. But I'm still open for a relationship. But maybe it's part of getting older is not for every price, not for any price. So.
Well, if you think about it, the older we get, the less time we have. So we realize how important and precious time is, and we don't want to waste it. I was speaking with another friend the other day who's also divorced and been on his own. And he's like, yeah, there's no way I'm ever getting into a long-term relationship, because I don't know, for me, it's really liberating not to have to answer to anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. But, to be honest, man, it's a little bit different situation than most other people. When you live in a city, in an apartment, as I said, in a cage, and you're always alone, you're working, you're hustling every day, you don't have really friends, and the family maybe is far away, or somebody passed away, your partner or one of your kids or some of your parents who passed away, and then it's the first Christmas time, the first holidays without this person. I can imagine this is really tough. I can imagine this is really tough. And I know that a lot of people are depressed on Christmas time, because Christmas time is this classical family time in the Western society, and they realize, because they're not in the job, mostly it's holiday, and they realize, oh fuck, I'm alone. You don't realize it when you're working, because you have so-called colleagues and friends, but not really, mostly deep friends. You're working and working and working, and during the year you don't realize it. But on Christmas, it's holidays, and then the New Year's is coming, and then you have time and say, oh my gosh, I'm alone. I have no friends, really good friends. I have no families or family around, and I guess this is a shock for most people. What I don't understand is they know that it's coming every year, so I don't know whether they don't get prepared on that. But it's a learning process to be by yourself without getting the blues. But the thing is, when you don't work on yourself, when you don't find out what really trauma has been caused in your childhood or whatever happened, when you don't work on that, when you don't sort it out, you will always get the blues and be scared by being alone, not be loved by somebody, not get the attention that you're looking for. It's a learning journey, but most people are not willing to do the work because it's painful. It's painful to get a deep look. Actually, I had a very good call today with this young lady I told you, and she told me about her mom, because her mom and her dad they separated, and she told me yesterday she was together with her father and your mom on Christmas. And she said she could see her mom suffering, but her mom is not willing to work on that, to go to a retreat or a workshop or a coach. She's suffering because she doesn't want to be a pain I don't know in English, to be pain in the ass on someone. So she tries to sort it out by herself, because mostly in our society, we are trained to sort out things by ourselves, not to appear weak, and that happens to many people, that they're so scared to have a deep look in their inner world, and it's scary. Absolutely, man. I went through this process. It's fucking scary, to be honest. I guess it's the bravest thing you can do in your life. But most people are really scared, because then they have a kind of feeling what they could see or what could come up, and it scares them. And that's why most people don't do it. And then so they still are in this little child, this little Roland, this little Susie mode, where they didn't get the love by the parents or the attention or whatever. And then you're scared away alone, because you're traumatized from your childhood.
So many great points that you just brought up. I felt like in the beginning when you were talking, you were actually speaking about me, which this is always unscripted, but this is the first holiday without my mother. And I've not tried to run from any of the feelings. I went to buy a card for somebody the other day, and I saw the first card I saw was Merry Christmas, Mother. And I got tears in my eyes. I was like, that's it. I'm leaving the store. But I feel like I took care of her for 3+ years. And now what comes up for me is, obviously I miss her, but it's also what am I supposed to be doing now? Because that was a big part of what I was doing, in addition to what we're doing here. And I thought, the answer will come. It will come in time, and just be open to receiving it.
Absolutely, that's what I said. When there was a loss during the year, especially very close to Christmas, it's a hard time. No doubt on that. But on the other hand, I always say Christmas time for me, especially when we talk later about the rough nights, is the best time to be by yourself. It's the best time to come down and be by yourself. Absolutely. It's an amazing time, because actually, I know you're in Florida. I'm in South Italy. It's warm, sunny outside. It's not the 4 seasons, with this cold, snowy stuff. But wintertime, normally in the northern hemisphere, it's the time of dying, of coming down. In autumn, the trees, the leaves are falling down. There is nothing is growing, nothing new is coming up. It's the time of contemplation, the time of dying. It's a good time, but we are so used to hustling. And the other thing is, I guess, especially on holidays, when we just sit around doing nothing, some people really feel guilty, because we are used to perform and to do and to do and to do and to do, and we just feel guilty doing nothing. And to be honest, this was a learning process for me too. I always had the feeling I'm not good enough. I'm not disciplined enough. I don't do enough. I don't work enough. I could do more. And this was also a learning journey the last 2 years. When I reflect my days, what I'm doing a day, for example, today or yesterday or the day before, I said, it's not really much, but it's okay. It's my life. It's okay. Why should I stress myself? It's just okay. And the point is, when I think back about my travelings in South America, in Africa, speaking to indigenous cultures, is what they're doing. They're getting up in the morning, and they're so happy that they're still alive, that they're healthy. The next thing is finding food, preparing food, eating, get some rest, have some chat with friends and neighbors, go to bed, be happy that you survived the day, and the next day is the same. There's no stress. It's no hustling. And that's actually the same what I do right now, is getting up, being happy, being so grateful. When I travel, finding the next safe spot where I can stay with my motorhome, finding food, preparing food, eat, wash dishes, read a little bit, nap a little bit, all is fine. No stress. And I guess this we have to bring back and learn, because in our society we're so performance driven. On the other hand, and we are materially successful and making money, but inside, mentally, most people are not really healthy, and they're not that depressed. And that's what's coming up on Christmas. You see, as I say, you're not gaining weight between Christmas and New Year's Eve. You're gaining weight in the rest of the year. And the same is when the depression comes up on Christmas, or shows up on the holidays and Christmas holidays. That's the result of the whole fucking year. That you have been the whole fucking year alone, but you have been so distracted distracted by your work or whatever, and it's coming up on Christmas. It's not because it's Christmas. It's because you have time when it comes out. That's the point.
Well, and as you know, after Christmas, we go into the new year. And I always find it interesting that whatever behaviors we've been demonstrating for decades or years of our life, all of a sudden in 1 month of January, we're going to completely change everything about ourselves, even though we didn't do any of the work to prepare us for the change. What do you think about that?
Well, actually, I don't celebrate New Year's Eve at all. Well, I normally don't. Actually, my last girlfriend, she was always pissed up because I went to 10 p.m. I went to bed or something like that. Because I was always partying like crazy in New Year's Eve, always the years before. But I found out, what the fuck I'm doing here? Why I'm so happy that in old years over, how much hope to have for the new year. So that's what I found out for myself. And I'm speaking to other people about my experiences. Was last year so bad, and is there a hope that next year's going better? And I said, no, it's not going better if I'm not willing to change. We always have this hope that in the outer world, outside is changing something. And finally, this year is we made it. We survived it. So many people maybe that's the point. Maybe so many people are in the survival mode. That, as I said, they're not really living joyfully. They're surviving. They're making money. Yes, they're hustling. They're doing. But they're just in a survival mode, and it's no matter of how much money you make. I know people who make $1 million a month and are still in the survival mode because they have so many expenses. And they know when they stop, everything breaks down. Like a car house. So this was. I remember when I went to university. One of my colleagues from high school, she didn't go to university. She started in a bank. And we had a discussion about her clients, not by names. And she said, you know what? It doesn't matter if you make $2,000 a month, $20,000 a month, or $200,000 a month. At the end of the month, all the money is gone. And the more money you earn, the higher is your credit you get or your loan you get. There's such a more debts you have. So it's not an issue of your income or your money. Not at all. Not at all. And once you realize this and you step a little bit back, and again, I'm not saying going back to a cave or having an ascetic life, but just stepping back a little bit and don't take it too seriously. And I say, I want to enjoy life, not just consuming. And I want to live. I want to live to the fullest. I want to feel myself. I want to feel the nature. I want to feel the wind. I want to feel the storm. I love it. 2 days ago, there was a storm. My motorhome was shaking. And I was like, yeah, that's nature. I mean, I want to feel myself. And that's life, and that's the memories that we have. It's not the memories of what kind of car did I drive 20 years ago. I was actually today I saw a video on Facebook, and I shared it on Facebook. An old man was talking and he said, you know what? In 100 years, in 2123, we are not here anymore. We're not here anymore. So the car we drove is gone. The house we have been living, somebody else is living in. The neighbors are different. Maybe they remember us a few years, 5, 10, 20 years, then we're just a photograph on the wall. And after 20 years, there's even not our photograph anymore on the wall. So why stressing ourselves? I guess we have to learn that we live in the present moment and enjoy the life. Because in a few years, you're not here anymore. And everything that is so important, like cars, house, or whatever, it's not ours anymore. Somebody else uses it when it's still working. Somebody else is living in the house. Somebody else is using whatever it is. So why stressing?
Such a good point. I never looked at it that way.
Yeah. There's a saying: when you die, the rich man doesn't bring something. The rich man cannot bring something with, and the poor one is not living something. But is not living something.
It's the same, right?
Yeah. I guess this is where we have to learn to become more happy and especially more mentally healthy.
I wish that for everyone.
Yeah, and I think that Christmas time is a good time to reflect this. Do we really have to go to the bank and, I don't know, boost my credit card to buy presents for my kids instead of spending time with them, listening to them, listening to my partner, spending time together? I guess the most valuable present we can give someone is time, because the only thing that's not coming back. And we have to rethink about that, spending time and really listen to other person, and maybe holding space for somebody who has a problem on Christmas time. It's not about these gifts, it's just distractions. And to be honest, when I talk to my kids, they're in their 30s now, I never heard anything about the presents I gave them the last years. Never ever. But they're talking about this crazy trip we made to this island when nobody was there. We hardly survived, or stuff like that. So what we talk about is the memories. What we're talking about is is the time that we spend together. And it was not about the money or the presents or gifts or something. Not at all. And I guess we have to learn this. It's not about the gifts. It's the time. Quality of time.
You nailed it right there. And you know how I feel about giving someone the gift of listening. That's huge. Your time and your attention and your focus is priceless.
Absolutely. So my call out, or whatever you want to call it, to these people who are listening today and maybe sitting alone in front of a screen and said, "Oh fuck, I'm alone." Maybe you use this time and go to other people and other people who are alone and listen to them and holding space for those who need. And then you're not alone. Stuff like that. Maybe you can do something like that. Or friends of mine, a friend of mine who is alone, she's always inviting homeless people for a Christmas lunch. She's cooking for them. She's always alone. So there are many. If you can't stand by being by yourself, invite homeless people, or invite those people who are in need, and just hold space. And it's not about creating a fancy lunch or something, just a warm place, and listen to them, listen to their stories, and make a difference in somebody's lives just for one day or a few hours. Wouldn't it be a wonderful Christmas?
Absolutely. I love what you're sharing here today. I was trying to remember Christmases in the past, when my mom and dad were both alive, and it never came up to me, oh, I got this gift or I got that gift. I just remembered the feeling of how it was for everyone to be together. So I think that's such an important point that you just made, is that years later, people are not going to say, oh, I remember you gave me that, whatever it was. I mean, I guess if you got a car or you got a house or something, maybe.
Yeah, the huge ones. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Absolutely true. And I come this up with this because today I was cleaning. On the 25th, we cleaned the house because we start for the rough night. And I was cleaning my motorhome today, and I was always sorting out some clothes, and well, this is an exception to the station, but most of the clothes have been gifts by my girlfriends or my wife. I don't know why they always love fashion stuff. They all have been in fashion. So I mostly didn't buy any clothes because they gave me for birthday, for Christmas, or whatever. And to be honest, when I look at these clothes, I don't remember anymore who gave it to me, who gave it to me, and when he gave it to me. It's just a present. But I remember so many nice moments with all these amazing ladies. That's what I remember. The small little things, the smile, the laughter, the crying together, and all this stuff. That's what I remember. But not who gave me what on what occasion. That's why I come up with this story. With the kids, it's the same with the kids. No, it's about time, holding space for somebody else.
And that is a great way to segue into how you can help people. You're sharing things, your journey, and this is a journey that you can help other people explore and get to know themselves as well. And I know you do a lot of work with big organizations like Xerox, etc. How can you help our audience, and who would you like to contact you?
Okay. Well, as you said, Dr. Jacalyn, thanks a lot. I was working with huge organizations worldwide, and I don't do it that much anymore. Of course, I would need the money. Who doesn't have to settle bills? But it makes me more happy to support a single person, a person in need, a person who is struggling or with the traumas, doesn't know how to get out of this negative content loop. And I went through all the shit. And so I have a lot of experience in that, how you feel, and I know how difficult it is to face this. So you're more than welcome. If you need some help, you need an eye, you need an ear or 2 ears, you're more than welcome to contact me. The best way is to send me an email. It's the best way. It's office@roland-friedl.com. And roland-friedl.com is also my website. You're more than welcome to contact me, and yeah, let's talk. It's all about caring and sharing, and especially in Christmas time, even, but the whole year is about caring and sharing and connecting with people. And with all this technology, we have so many so-called Facebook friends and social media friends, but most people feel alone or lonely. So here's somebody out there who is willing to listen to you. So contact me if you want. Thanks, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And yeah, when you're alone, make the best out of it. Make the best out of it. It's a good chance to really enjoy your time and learn to be by yourself. It's a good way. And if you're with your family, have an amazing time with your beloved ones. Maybe less gifts and less arguing, more happiness and more fun and more time together. Thank you.
Roland, thanks so much. We're headed to another studio for our next show. Can you tell the audience a little bit about the topic?
Yeah, the next show we're going to talk about the so-called rough nights or holy nights. These are 12 nights. This year they start today on the 25th until the 6th of January in the morning. Is 12 nights where we can do different things and preparing for next year. I will talk about this in the next show, in the Planet Earth show, about the rough nights, also called the holy nights, which is an old Celtic, an old Celtic tradition. And I talk from my own experience what I'm doing there.
Okay, fantastic. And we're excited because we're literally going to be in a brand new studio. So I'm looking forward to the experience. We're going to head over there a few minutes early so we can get it together. So thank you again. We will be back very shortly with our next program, and we look forward to seeing you there. Merry Christmas. And remember, like Roland said, you're not alone. You just have to reach out, make the effort. You've got 2 people here right now who are willing to hear, listen, and be there and encourage you. Okay, bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.